Okay, so there's this new thriller on Netflix that everyone is talking about. And trust me, it's for a really good reason. Today, we are going to dive deep into the crazy, high stakes world of The Rip and figure out what's real and what's pure Hollywood magic. All right, just imagine this for a second. You're a cop. You're on a raid that's supposed to be totally routine, just another day at the office. And then you find it, a mountain of cash, life-changing money, completely off the books. Nobody would ever know. So what do? Who do you look at? And who can you possibly trust in that moment? Yeah, that, right there, that's the heart-pounding question at the absolute center of The Rip. And let me tell you, it's a premise that just grabs you right from the start and does not let go. So who's behind this whole thing? Well, it's directed by Joe Carnahan. But here's the big deal. It brings back together Matt Damon and Ben Affleck. I mean, come on. When you see those two names on a poster, you just know you're about to get some incredible chemistry and some seriously good tension. In the film, Damon plays this really seasoned, seen-it-all veteran who's leading a Miami narcotics unit. And Affleck, he's his super loyal, ride-or-die partner. You get the sense their bond is, the foundation of the whole team. But, as we're about to find out, even the strongest foundations can start to crack when you put enough pressure on them. So the story gets going with what's supposed to be just another day at the office for this elite squad. They're hitting a known stash house. It should be a standard bust. In and out, simple, right? Well, what they find inside is not simple at all. $20 million. Just let that sink in. We're talking untraceable cash just sitting there, hidden. The moment they find that money, you can feel the air change. The entire dynamic between these characters, it just shifts instantly. Everything is different now. And look, this discovery, it's not a jackpot. It's more like a grenade with the pin pulled. It just sets off this insane chain reaction. First, that bond of trust starts to unravel. Then, every single person in that room finds themselves at a moral crossroads. And just like that, they're all looking at each other, forced to make these impossible life-or-death decisions under this crushing, suffocating pressure. But okay, here's the part that makes this whole thing even crazier. The story, it's not completely made up. The Rip is actually loosely inspired by a real event. The writers took a shocking real-life headline and spun it into this super suspenseful movie. So let's break it down. Fact versus fiction. The movie, it's all about that intense psychological drama, right? The moral choices, the betrayal, the paranoia between these two partners. The real story that inspired it? A 2016 raid by Miami-Dade police where they actually uncovered over $20 million in a stash house. For real. So the film takes that unbelievable fact and just runs with it, asking that huge question, what if? And you know what? This mix of real-life craziness and Hollywood drama is totally landing with people. Critics are loving it. Audiences are loving it. So why? What is the secret sauce here? What is it about The Rip that makes it so darn good? Well, for starters, critics are calling it a tightly wound action crime thriller. And what that really means is that there is zero fluff. Every single scene is just packed with tension and purpose. It's a lean, mean, suspenseful ride from the first frame to the last. But it's not just about the action, not at all. The real power of this movie is how it dives into all that messy human stuff. We're talking deep-seated conflicts, heavy themes of betrayal, and this really gray area of ethics. It's one of those stories that makes you sit back and really question what right and wrong even look like when the pressure is on. And of course, a story like this only works if you believe the people on screen. And man, do you believe them. The whole thing is just anchored by the absolutely incredible chemistry between Damon and Affleck. You can feel their real-life friendship coming through, which makes their on-screen partnership feel so real. And that's what makes the idea of one of them betraying the other so completely gut-wrenching. So, in the end, The Rip leaves you with this one single, haunting question that just kind of sticks with you long after it's over. How much pressure can loyalty really take? At what point does it just break?